Flosstube, and welcome back to another episode of World on a String by Dara. Dara is me. You can find me on Instagram at ThaliaTree, and you can email me at dara@worldonastringbydara.com. It's been a great last 2 weeks, and I've got not a lot of stuff, but you know, I've got a handful of things to show you this week with what I worked on. So this is the first time I'm doing an episode with notes. Can you believe it? I decided I can't keep track of everything in my head. So first things first, I wanted to say thank you to the Seattle Stitcher for giving me a shout out on her video. She's super fun to watch. She does a lot of very elegant and beautiful patterns. I know she also shows her knitting on her YouTube, super fun, so definitely check her out. She's super nice. Thank you again, Megan, for shouting me out on your channel. Super kind for you to do that. Very fun. On another note of business, I got my ticket for the Jingle Ball, which is an event put on by, I believe, headed up by Lindy Stitches. But she's being joined by 11 other designers, and they're having an online cross-stitch event. That's, I believe, December 2nd and 3rd, and they're having classes, they're doing, they're designing special patterns for it, so it's like $10 a ticket, so super fun. My mom helped me pay for mine because I ran out of free money for the month, so she's like, I'll just get it for you. So I have my ticket for Jingle Ball, which is super exciting. I think they're doing like stitch things too, like rooms you can join where you can have meet and greets too with people around the world who are just stitching and want to join. So that'll be super fun to just be stitching and talking with other stitchers. So it'd be fun to see you there if you're kind of up for that kind of thing. So I'll put a link of where I got my ticket below. Super fun. Unfortunately, I can't afford to go to StitchCon this year, or I guess this coming year, so I did not get my ticket for that. But hopefully, fingers crossed, for 2024, I'll be going to that StitchCon. So, without further ado, I have some whips to show you and some drama to share. So get your tea ready, man. So all of you have been so excited about my Lord of the Rings full coverage, and I love that pattern, you know, but I'm afraid it's a pattern of the past right now, the one I was working on. And there was a lot of emotions about it this past few weeks. Alright, sorry, I had to go find my pattern because I lost it. I didn't have it right here next to me. So, here's the story about the Lord of the Rings sadness. I was shopping on Etsy at work, and I found someone else who had charted the same pattern, because I believe it's just one that was computer generated. They just found the picture on the internet and ran it through a cross-stitch pattern generator and made the pattern. I was so stressed out, you guys. So I found a designer who, I guess not a designer, but someone who made another computer generated version of this pattern. And as I was looking at it, I looked at it just for fun because I had been working on it, like the pattern, really hard. I'm like, dude, I made a ton of progress. I'm just gonna go admire the pattern or the picture that someone else made of it. And I'm looking at the sampling of the chart that they gave, and I'm like, that looks completely different than the one I'm doing. And not just because they used, you know, different symbols for the colors. No, it looked so much clearer, like looked way better. You could actually like see some of the characters a little better. I'll put a comparison up of the samples of the charts that they have up on Etsy. So like I'm not violating anything. They're up on Etsy. You can see like examples of their charts. And you can really see the difference, you guys. And as I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, the pattern's $3. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna compare like other parts of the pattern that are super detailed. And as I did it, I compared them. You guys, it was such a world of difference in how much better the second pattern was. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can adapt it to the one that I already started. But no, it's like completely different stitch count, of course. So I'm like at work in the middle of the day, and my coworker, I work in a lab, and they're like all super invested in my cross stitch. They all ask like, oh, what are you working on right now? Like, how much have you gotten done? Are you close to finishing anything? So I'm like in distress, and they're like, what's going on? And so I'm like sharing with them my cross stitch trauma, and they're like, oh no. And I'm like super worked up. So I go and I call my mom, and I'm like, Mom, this is an emergency. I have this pattern that looks so much clearer than the one I'm doing. And so she talked me through it. She listened to my angst and woes. And you guys, I sacrificed my old pattern and I started the new one because I just knew I wasn't going to be happy continuing the old one when I knew how much better the new one was. So I'm gonna have a little memorial service because it was so sad, and I have been like distressed the past probably 2 weeks about it. I'll show the pattern here. This is as far as I got on the old one. Since I showed you last, I did a ton of the work in here and more work over here. So it is sad. It is cut off from its mother fabric, and let's all just take a moment of silence for this pattern. Alright, welcome back, and I'm going to show you the new one because it's way better. So, the new pattern, you know, I'm like, shit, those feelings are in the past, like, I'm cruising on this new one, we're good. So this is the pattern I have been talking about, Lord of the Rings, stained glass. This new one is done by, oh my word, it didn't even put his shop name on it. Designed by Cross Stitch V is their name on Etsy. So I'll link that below. And it is significantly bigger than the other one. So the other one was gonna be, I believe, when finished, it was going to be like 20 by 40, somewhere in there. This one, or no, it was gonna be like 17 by 35. It was gonna be smaller, like the total fabric fully measured was like 40 by 20 something. This new one, stitched area, is going to be 45 by 21 and a quarter. So that's big. It's a lot bigger. I added like 2 more feet of fabric to my fabric, but I found a fabric on Amazon. I was able to order it. It's like the same color, not quite the same texture, but same color as I was using. And it was massive. It took me forever to sew the edges of it, but it looks good. I already made a ton of progress. So I believe I've stitched technically the same amount as I had gotten done on the other one, because I was like, you guys, I'm like, this is not gonna kill me. What doesn't kill you make you stronger. I'm gonna stitch till the cows come home. So I literally, I watched the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy and I binged all of Rings of Power. Now, I have some feelings about Rings of Power. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but it did get me through. I like had the Lord of the Rings vibes going as I was stitching this. So this is as far as I've gotten. It does not look like much, I know, but I got most, I believe, other than this like one stitch in the corner, I've gotten a few squares done over here. I'm of course moving my way down. I've got half this white stitched in. So I'm cruising. I'm like same 18 count, like oatmeal looking fabric. It's a lot softer than the one I was using for the other pattern. So it's a lot nicer to work with, honestly. So I'm very happy with how this is turning out. There are less colors in the squares. It's not like 50 different colors in one square. It's like 6. Which makes me happy because I hate changing colors every other stitch. But it looks great. You can see the size difference when I hold them up. So you can see like the difference of this circle versus the difference that this circle, like how big it's gonna be in the end. So I'm making progress. It's looking good. I have this massive thing of fabric on the side of it. I can literally only stitch with like this little stand that I have. My parents got it for me off Amazon for my birthday this year. This has been a lifesaver for my shoulder because this is really, really heavy. But I'm cruising, I'm doing good. I haven't worked on it in the past few days because I kind of needed a break. But I'm starting to feel like, okay, I'm like getting to a point in the pattern where I'm catching up to where I was. Life is good again, you guys. So, yep, that's that pattern. It's huge. It's gonna be, I think, a good 2 feet bigger than the other one was gonna be. Or at least a foot, I think, in total, like if you add up all the bigger areas that it's gonna be. So there's my drama llama for the past 2 weeks. That was a very distressing time in my life, and I'm glad to have gotten through it. Thank you, Mother, for the emotional support. And I will move on to my other whips now. So that was like the main one that I worked on the past few weeks. I also worked on a little bit a few days ago on the Christmas sampler by LiolaCraftShop. As it's getting closer to Christmas, it officially has been in like the 40s at night here in Oregon. It's been amazing. So I've been like definitely getting it more into the fall and Christmas mood. Our seasons have just been so weird this year. But yes, so I worked a little bit on this guy. I wasn't like super cruising as I was on like the Lord of the Rings stitch, but I got more of this little motif done over here, and I got the start of the little plaid tablecloth here. Not a lot, but enough to be happy with progress, you know? Sometimes it's just small progress, and that's okay. So I'm doing this one on 32 count vintage country mocha. Very cute. I love the texture of the fabric. Super easy to work on, using called for DMCs, all that lovely stuff. So worked on that one a little bit. I worked on the bee pattern as well. This is Sweet Bee by Stitchrovia. There you go. I had done a significant part last week. And I did quite a bit as well this week. So I think last week I only had this hive, half of this and like the start of this area here. So since then I have gone all the way down. I did this little area that says Pure Set Honey. Sorry, I'm like lazy, so I'm not gonna take it out of the hoop, but it says Pure Set Honey. I started on the words here that'll say sweet as can be. Let's try to get that out of the way. I finished the hive and a bunch of the back stitching, and then I'm starting more on the banner over here. So I'm probably a little over a quarter of the way through this pattern. And this is being done on 14 count Monaco. It's, or not 14 count, 28 count, sorry. So obviously stitching 2 over 2 for the 14 count Monaco. Very pretty. The colors just are so happy. And yeah, gorgeous. I'm excited to keep working on this. I feel like I had something to say about it. It's pretty, you guys. I like it. But using all the called for DMCs, and yeah, so that was another one of my whips for the week. Let's see. Oh, and I've done a ton of work on my other Stitchrovia pattern. So this is the hot chocolate recipe by Stitchrovia. Super cute. It says like the best recipe, warming hot chocolate. It says combine 600 milliliters of whole milk, 60 grams of dark chocolate, 40 grams of milk chocolate, a pinch of salt, half teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 140 milliliters of single cream. Stir and gently heat and pour into a mug, top with marshmallows and squirty cream. It says a hug in a mug at the bottom. So very cute pattern. I am doing this on, I believe, 32 count Belfast linen smoky white. And I'll take this one out of the hoop for you guys. Oh, I've got a fabric holder. So I did a lot of work on this one because last week I only had like just a little start of the border here, and I have cruised, you guys. So I got, as you can see, all of this done. Here, let me fold it to try and get it to look a little better. There you go. So, the best recipe, warming hot chocolate. So I got, yeah, most of the words done. I'm like gonna complete the other half of the chocolate, hopefully today, and start moving down into the actual recipe portion of it. If you hold it back, I just love the modeling of this smoky white fabric. It's gorgeous. It works so well for the like hot chocolate, creamy. We have been eating keto. I think I've mentioned that like every episode. But because of that, you can have hot chocolate like 3 times a day and it's healthy for you. So I've been drinking a lot of hot chocolate. You know, drinking hot chocolate and losing weight is a great plan. So yeah, we usually do like, let's see, we do like almond milk as a base, like add heavy whipping cream. I recently posted, I thought I posted hot chocolate. I posted a pumpkin spice latte, like homemade keto version on my Instagram yesterday. I thought it was hot cocoa. I guess I'll have to make a hot cocoa one now, but yeah, we usually do like almond milk, heavy cream, obviously cocoa powder. We use stevia as a sweetener, and then I add some vanilla. I add some collagen powder, which is really high fat, high protein, really good for you. And I also add, the secret ingredient here is a little bit of maple flavoring. You can get a like pretty simple like maple extract stuff from the store. You add a little bit of that, and you add fresh ground cinnamon and nutmeg to the top, and it is so good, you guys. So that's one reason I love this pattern, is because I'm drinking a lot of hot chocolate right now. And it's really cute. So it makes me happy. I love the mix of pink and brown. I feel like I liked a lot of pink and brown colors when I was younger, before I became obsessed with everything blue. So it just gives me throwback vibes to all the like little bags and outfits I had that were pink and brown, which are really cute. So I worked a ton on that. I really hope I can get a lot more done. It's a really fast like pattern. I mean, maybe I'm just working a crap ton on it, but it just goes by really fast. There's enough variation of stitches versus fill versus back stitching versus color changes that it's like really easy to work on while still like engages you and you're still excited about moving on to the next part of the pattern, which is nice. So yeah, I have thoroughly enjoyed working on that. And I designed another pattern. It's a really small one this time, so I've been working on that a little bit too. I'm thinking of just designing and listing some of my patterns because I know people have asked me about that before. My printer's like super bad at printing out the, what's it called? The rendering of the pattern. So it looks like this. The colors look awful with just this. But I'm calling it Hey Pumpkin. It's really cute. It's a drawing that I made and charted myself. I thought it would be a cute little fall pattern to do, and super tiny. I'm doing it on, oh goodness, I lost my needle minder. I'm doing it on 22 count Aida because I wanted it to be pretty small. So we got this cute little guy. This is how much I've stitched on it. I've just got the top of Mama Pumpkin here. And I need to fill in a little bit here, but Mama Pumpkin will probably be about this big, and then I'll have Baby Pumpkin over here. So again, I'll show that to you. Super cute. I love drawing cutesy things. I've always drawn like kawaii type things. It's 78 by 65 stitches, and on the 22 count, it's gonna be pretty small. So I think I gave this a good 2 inches for finishing, so it's only gonna be like that big. So yeah, pretty cute. I did a big stupid, and I had a beeswax candle sitting next to my pile of floss while I was starting to stitch this up and like chart it and stuff. And I accidentally knocked the candle over and spilled wax all over the floss. So I've been having to like cut beeswax. You'd think it would work as like a good thread conditioner, but no, this is like solid wax. So I have to like go through and chop all the wax out. And so I'm working with really small pieces of floss because I haven't made it to the store to buy new skeins. But I'm getting there. I'm working on it. It shouldn't take me too much longer to finish. I'm hoping to have this finished by my next Flosstube, and then hopefully I can list it for super cheap or maybe as a freebie for you guys if you like it. So let me know if you like it, because I don't know how many people like this kind of, it is a little bit of a bigger cutesy. I know a lot of smaller cutesy stuff like Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery is pretty cute. My mom loves that designer. But I'm curious about testing the waters with a little bit bigger cutesy stuff, because I figure this is a really like customizable pattern. You could really easily add a border to it. You could really easily add words to it. I have some cute ideas for finishing it, so hopefully I'll have a FFO example that I can put on the front instead of the computer render, because it's kind of terrible. So there's my little pumpkin. And that is what I did this past few weeks, you guys. Oh my word, you know what I forgot? I forgot the question of the week. Last week I asked, I believe, what your favorite pattern was. I loved all your responses. I totally found some new designers that I like just based on your guys' responses. So thank you for that. That was super cool. I'm gonna ask a really basic question. What's your favorite color? Or better yet, color combo. I have a lot of favorite color combos. I really, really like, let's see. I think blues and browns or blues and purples are my favorite color combo right now. There are so many wonderful color combos in the world. So yeah, let me know below what's your favorite color combo, because that's fun. I always gravitate towards patterns with that color combo, just because it's like, ooh, I get to see my favorite stuff. And do you always, like, do you guys do that too, where you like find a pattern and you're like, oh my gosh, it has blue and purple in it, or your favorite combo, and you're like, I have to do that part first, or I like, you get really excited just getting the floss or yarn for it, and you're like, oh, it's my favorite. I always do that, so that's fun. And I figure before I close out the episode, I would mention some of the Flosstubers I've been watching recently when I have time, when I'm not binging, you know, the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm starting The Hobbit right now too, which is fun. But cross stitchers I enjoy are Stitchandchill. She's newer to the Flosstube world, so go and give her a watch. She does a lot of fun modern stitches, which I enjoy. And she has great camera work, because I think she's a videographer as her job, so she has a really nice setup. So definitely go check her out. Two Eclectic Stitchers is another one. They crack me up. They're newer as well, so very fun. And I just found finally a farm girl too. She's fun as well. I know she's been on the Flosstube scene for a little bit longer. Like, she's got like, what, 40 floss tubes up or something? I honestly don't remember. That's a really rough guess, but she's been really fun to watch as well. So if you have time, go check them out. They're super fun. Thank you for joining me this week and listening to my drama. And I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful next 2 weeks. I will see you next time.